Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game. Welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. Last time we romanced a recovering narcissist. This time we are recovering a very active narcissist. So that should be exciting? Question mark. Also, I've turned on my crystal right choice indicator because I did miss that, and I want to have that back. So anyway, I thought I'd start here and try and figure out which of these questions I should ask as I'm on Rumpel's route. I'd probably ask this question, because he's very interested in them ladies. Why are you two working together?
To answer that, we'll have to give you a bit of a history lesson.
Ooh, I've got this. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there were two crystals.
Dramatics aside, there is one crystal in the kingdom called the Crystallum Lucis. It is powered by happiness and love. The other is the Crystallum Tenebrarum, powered by fear and anger. The strongest of the witches is the Tenebrarum bearer. The strongest of the fairies is the Lucis bearer.
Parfait is the Lucis bearer. I take in Parfait's frail and sickly appearance. She is the strongest fairy?
The Great War greatly damaged me. My powers are a fraction of what they used to be. And with no child, I have no successor to my burden.
What does a bearer do? The bearers regulate the energy of the crystals and keep the balance between darkness and light.
For centuries, the fairies and witches lived in harmony with the humans of the kingdom.
Until a certain human decided to be a pest. Who was he?
I knew him as Gabriel Grimm. He wrote the fairy tales.
And he started the feud between the witches and the fairies in the process. How could a single person have so much power?
It was the power of his words. In Grimm's stories, the witches were always evil. The humans naturally grew to fear and hate them. They began to hunt them.
Didn't the witches fight back? We aren't allowed to use our powers to cause harm. But that all changed when the Tenebrarum bearer decided revenge was more important than our promise.
The witches took over the kingdom. They created the Fairytale Curse to spread even more sadness and anger, to fill the human heart with negative emotions. All to fuel the power of the Tenebrarum. The delicate balance of harmony between the crystals was broken. The witches and the Tenebrarum grew far stronger than they were ever meant to be. We had no choice but to fight. And then the Great War happened. The Tenebrarum bearer was eventually defeated. The Great War was ended with the help of an unexpected ally, but
many lives were lost. The good witches suffered horribly. We still have to stay hidden in hopes of having any kind of peace. Are you trying to make me believe that there are good witches?
The Tenebrarum can poison a heart and mind into darkness and cruelty. The witches put themselves at risk in working with the Tenebrarum and maintaining harmony. Some inevitably are corrupted.
Many good witches were corrupted during the war. Most remain that way.
Many do not believe it, but witches can be just as kind as fairies.
And yet it wasn't a fairy that cursed me. I've done good by cursing you, princess. You'll thank me when you've broken it.
Dolora was not corrupted by the Tenebrarum. She is as good as they come. Hopefully you'll come to see that for yourself.
I doubt it. Apart from my own inherent goodness, Parfait and I are working together because we have a common goal. Which is?
To restore the balance between darkness and light. What else would you like to know?
Okay, how do I break the curse? The necklace you've got is one of Cinderella's glass slippers. To break the curse, you must get the second slipper. Complete the pair. And how do I do that?
By doing 3 good deeds.
What? It's a very easy thing to do. At least for someone who knows how to be good. 3 good deeds? What does that even mean? I wouldn't even know where to start.
Take heart, princess. Goodness is innate in everyone.
Are you sure that's the case with this one?
Dolora, you are not helping.
I'm a witch, and I think I have more goodness in my big toe than she has in her entire body.
Now you're just being mean. Ugh. For every good deed you accomplish, you will get a piece of the glass slipper. When you've gotten all 3, you'll complete the pair and the curse will break. Simple.
I suggest you start by polishing that attitude of yours.
What else would you like to know?
I think that's good. No more questions. I'm going to skip until I come across Rumple. I think that's my plan for now. Jurian and Garland, hope you two still get together in this. Oh, hi, Claude. Oops. Oh, right, you are the next thing. Ugh. You hate me. How could you? Oh, that was the right choice for Rod, was saying that. Alright. Alright. This man came in with minor head injuries. She says that she expects him to wake soon. I look at the tray of food in my hands. Niece has asked me to bring it up to the stranger's room while she finishes the rest of her cooking. I would never have been asked to do this in the palace. Goodness, what's that poor tray done to you to deserve that look? I must say that it's odd to see the princess doing something nice for someone. What do you want? I have something to ask the man that was brought in last night. Seeing as you're being good enough to deliver breakfast, I thought I'd just tag along with you. If you're going, just bring this tray up yourself. You are not in any position to delegate your duties to me, Miss Lucette. Come on, our guest must be famished. Seeing no way out, I followed Laura to the spare room the man had been put in. Come in. There's that beautiful Rumple. Right? With his journal. I thought the man would have been old, but to my surprise he looks young, probably in his early 20s. He seems lost in reverie as he stares at a small notebook. Good morning. Good to see you awake and breathing. The man looks up at her when she speaks. The instant he sees us, his eyes widen. Why is he staring at us like that? Am I dead? What? I'm in heaven. Or maybe you two are angels that have fallen out of it. I see. What can a humble gentleman like myself do for you, lovely ladies? You could join me on this bed. It's very comfortable and there's plenty of room for the both of you. I'll follow your lead on this one, Princess. Princess? Of course. Such a beautiful lady could only be a princess. Look at the noble way you hold up the tray. Throw that tray. Can I throw the tray at him? I'm tempted to let you. Feisty as well. Oh, be still my beating heart. Yeah, there we go. I knew I had to be violent with you. Huh? You...
Oh, he's awake.
Another lovely lady has entered my chambers? I don't think my heart can handle the perfection of 3 of you at once. I think I know how Casanova here got those head injuries. Some lady decided she'd had enough of his rubbish and wanted to punish him.
Delora, patience. He may not even be in the right state of mind right now. He did take injuries to the head, after all.
The man finally stops to look just at me. He narrows his eyes and stares so hard I almost want to slap him. What? You're familiar. But... no, it's impossible. Aren't you the crown princess? What are you doing here?
If he knows, then he's...
Well, he's definitely not a witch or a fairy. Can only mean one thing if he recognizes the Ice Princess.
What is your name, good sir?
I would answer any questions you ask of me, madam, but... The man looks down at the notebook in his hand.
I don't remember.
Amnesia?
I know everything about Angielle, and yet I don't know the first thing about myself. Except that I had the Rumplestiltskin curse.
Rumplestiltskin? Is that a fairy tale? I knew it! He's got the Fairytale Curse!
Fairytale Curse?
Do you remember how to break it?
From what I remember, I need to somehow collect 3 memories and get them to appear in this journal as entries.
Very blank journal. He shows us the notebook he's been holding on to since we entered the room.
My first memory is of waking up and holding this. I thought there would be information in here, but it's empty.
Another victim of the curse. You must be tired. Lucette will leave your breakfast here and will give you some time to yourself. We'll be outside if you need anything else. Rumplestiltskin.
What is that fairy tale about? Delora does not do a good job of hiding her laughter. She snorts and I cross my arms, embarrassed. Mother burned the fairy tales in the palace before I got the chance to read all of them. Fine, fine. I'll keep it short. Once upon a time there was a girl that was said to be able to spin straw into gold. The king found her and locked her up in a tower. He said he wouldn't let her out until she turned all of the straw in the room into gold. But the girl was just a regular human girl. She knew she would never be able to turn the straw into gold, and feared that she would be locked up forever. That was when an odd little man appeared before her, and offered to do the job for her if she gave him something in return. The girl gave him her necklace, and the man spent the rest of the night spinning the straw into gold. However, the girl wasn't released. The second night she was given more straw to spin, and the little man appeared once more. This time she gave him her ring. On the third night the king ordered her to spin the straw one last time, and if she did, she would be released and made his queen. However, that night the girl had nothing left to give the little man, so they made an agreement. He would spin the straw into gold for her, so long as she gave him her first child.
I personally never understood why the girl would want to marry the king in the first place.
Hush! I'm trying to tell a story here. Years passed and the queen finally gave birth to her first child. That night the odd little man returned and demanded his due, but the queen didn't want to give up her child. The man then said that he wouldn't take the child if the queen was able to guess his name in 3 days. The man's name was Rumplestiltskin. Did she guess it? Oh yeah. The night before her time was officially up, the queen was drawn to the forest by the sound of a little voice. She saw the little man celebrating his upcoming victory, singing about how nobody had or ever would guess his real name, which was Rumplestiltskin. He does not sound particularly smart. So agrees the general populace.
Sometimes I wonder how Hans was able to come up with such tall tales. Well, the margin is opening soon. I expect another busy day.
And on that note, we'll skip ahead to our next choice. Alright, we've refreshed ourselves on all the deets about Rumple and the story of Rumpelstiltskin. I have no theories as of yet. But I do find it odd that he has to get 3 journal entries. And the story has 3 nights where Rumpelstiltskin turned straw into gold. And he also gave the queen 3 days to figure out his real name. So 3 is important somehow. 3 is also important to our curse. Anyway, whom should I ask for help? Rumple. Can't believe I'm saying that, but Rumple. I suppose I can ask Rumple. Enough girls seem to like him, so he might have sound advice. It's an interesting reasoning you got there, Lucette. I find Rumple in between his orders and pull him aside. He looks oddly relieved.
Ah, Princess, you've saved me.
Saved you? Oh my!
From a heinous overload of work.
I am pretty sure Rumple does less around here than me. At least I finish the work I am given. Unlike Rumple, who gets distracted by every single thing.
Dear Lucette, if you've called me here, then you must want to confess something to me.
What?
Perhaps you'll confess your undying love for me.
I scowl at him and cross my arms. I came to ask you for advice, but perhaps I'll go ask someone else.
You came to ask my advice?
Rumple stares at me, clearly shocked. I guess it is because out of all the people I would ask, he probably seems the least likely.
Then I will assist, my sweet princess. What kind of advice are you looking for? Perhaps you'd like to learn how to make a man swoon, or how to stroke the embers of the heart?
Is flirting the only thing that is ever on his mind? I came because I want you to teach me about goodness.
Goodness? But my sweet, all of the advice that I just suggested would teach you just that.
Being romantic will not teach me how to do good. Rumple dramatically places his hand over his heart.
But being romantic is good. Don't you see the smiles on the lovely ladies' faces when I speak with them?
I cannot imagine why they smile like that. Rumple's persistence is annoying.
To be romantic and loving, that is the epitome of goodness. Show someone affection and they will return it twofold.
I can only stare at Rumple as I wonder why I even decided to ask him. Sorry, Lucette.
Or you could just be kind. Everyone is kind in their own way, princess. So what do you say? Perhaps you would like to practice on me. I'm sure your smile would brighten up my week. No, I'm certain of it.
I have work. I quickly turn and leave before Rumple can continue. If I have to be romantic during a good deed, I'd rather be cursed like this forever. You're gonna be cursed with love just now, girl. My floor! We ran. Whom should I ask for help today? Rumple again. I find Rumple taking a break at one of the tables. Surprisingly, he is by himself and not surrounded by the usual blushing ladies. He's got a talent. You are not surrounded by a flock of ladies? You must have done something to offend them. Rumple looks at me, the surprise apparent on his face.
Princess, have you come to mend my broken heart?
Excuse me?
I was speaking with a lady here only hours ago when she told me that she was betrothed to someone else.
That happened hours ago and you are still sitting here? Rumple places his chin on the palm of his hand, looking very tired.
In mourning. The heart is a fragile thing, princess. Won't you help heal my shattered heart?
Rumple stares at me when I do not answer.
That would count as a good deed, you know.
Helping you would count as a good deed?
Doing things out of the kindness of your heart is a good deed, princess.
The kindness of my heart? Why would I want to help you when you've done nothing for me?
Kindness isn't a thing that needs to necessarily be returned, princess. Single instances of affection can make a heart lighter.
You actually said something very helpful right now. Why does he always go through the trouble of making his words sound so much fancier? I will not help you mend your broken heart, because that would be an act of stupidity, not kindness. Rumple's shoulders slump as he frowns.
Oh, now my heart is even more fragmented.
You suffer from a broken heart every day you are rejected.
Of course. Because to pour your heart out to someone only to be rejected is a cruel fate, princess.
You probably deserved rejection, what with the way you flirt with everyone. So no, I am not going to help you. Deal with your own broken heart. I turn around and walk away. Lucette savage. The acts Rumple puts on are annoying. But we keep going back. We just keep going back. Alright, time to make a decision. These eyes. The flatterer. Ooh. I'm sorry, Lucette. I'm sorry. I do not know why the first person that popped into my mind was Rumple. Just because he puts a smile on ladies' faces with his flirting does not mean he can help me do a good deed. And yet, here I am. I find Rumple on break, surrounded by a few giggling ladies. His hands make dramatic sweeping gestures as he showers them with compliments. Oh my. You even got the noble women.
And you, my sweet, are like sunshine peeking through the clouds on a dark day. You litter the ground with so much golden light and make every flower reach out toward your warmth.
On second thought, maybe I should reconsider.
Princess!
Rumple notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. I'm not going over there to compete with the ladies. Whatever, man. I just remember that I have something to do. I turn around to start walking away, but I am immediately stopped when I feel Rumple's hand on my shoulder. I slap his hand away.
Fierce as always. You remind me of a rose with thorns, Princess.
Don't say that. My heart's still healing from karma, okay? He leans closer and winks at me. Oh my, that is quite the wink.
But the thorns are what make the rose so alluring.
Are you always so persistent? Or do you actually want me to slap you again?
Your slapping me is but a small blockade in the road. I will never give up on you, Princess.
Does he enjoy it when I purposefully try to ignore him?
The most brilliantly sparkling gems are buried deep within the ground and take much effort to unearth.
What?
Princess, you are like one of those gems.
No, I am not like a gem. Rumple, why would you deal with someone like her? What?
Lucette is like a budding flower, and I want to do my best to help her bloom in whatever way that I can. You've come to me for advice, right?
How did he know?
The look of shock on your face is adorable and so absolutely satisfying. It seems I hit the nail right on the head.
Rumple, she is obviously too stubborn to admit that she needs your help.
These women are infuriating. Oh my, hello. So close. Rumple leans a little closer to me, and suddenly he is whispering in my ear.
Let me tell you something, Princess. Making a person happy just to see them smile is definitely a good deed.
Huh?
Making someone feel important is never a disservice. What do you think? I'm pretty knowledgeable, aren't I?
All he ever talks about is doting on people, flirting with them, and making them smile. Rumple continues talking.
Which is why I will make an excellent partner.
Sure. I take a step back. Rumple is now looking at me with a triumphant smile. How did you...
I am very perceptive, Princess.
You overheard my conversation with Parfait?
She told me about it.
She... did?
Only briefly.
So you're not perceptive at all?
Princess, you cannot see it, but I am drowning in my own tears.
He just assumed I was going to be partners with him, which is very annoying. I do not even know why I was considering partnering up with Rumple when he says the same things over and over again. And I do not think I could be around him day in and out. Oh my, what do I spot here? Delora appears before us, a sly smile on her face. Slacking off, you two?
I'm on a break.
That break ended about 5 minutes ago, Rumple. And Princess, I think there's a broom that needs attending. Fine. There's no use complaining, and I would rather get away from Rumple. Rumple turns to the ladies and smiles.
My lovely ladies, I will be back later, and I promise that we will continue our conversation without any interruptions. Oh, and Princess. We'll continue our conversation later as well.
I walk off before Rumple can try to shower more of his compliments onto me. Making a person happy just to see them smile. Can such a thing really be considered a good deed? Yeah, girl. The days of the tavern go by quickly over the next week.
Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space.
I was just thinking. I just finished using Mr. Broom, and now I am helping Anise sort some of the shelves in the back. Rumple has taken up the serving for today. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him.
They're jealous of Rumple, I think.
Who?
The other men.
Anise looks over at the men that are glaring at Rumple as he drifts between tables.
I'm worried about Rumple, too.
What are you talking about?
You were looking at Rumple with a funny expression on your face.
No, I wasn't. My words are clipped and my voice is cold. Anise looks at me sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business.
I think the girls are jealous of you, too.
What? I glance around the tavern and notice that there are girls glowering at me. I'm not unaccustomed to these glares, since people have always looked at me this way. I feel like I'm working at that maid cafe in Amnesia all over again. During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks, but this feels different somehow. Why would they be jealous?
Because you're Rumple's partner.
I am not his partner.
You're not. He's been telling everyone that you are.
I never agreed to being partners with him. Speak of the devil.
I felt your longing gaze upon my back, and I have arrived, my princess.
Rumple suddenly appears before the two of us, smiling brightly. I suddenly have the strong urge to slap the smile right off his face. We are not partners.
But, princess, you asked for my advice. Advice that I gave to you because I care. No one else cares as much about you as I. And so I proclaimed us both partners, because we are a match made in heaven. You're so overwhelmed with gratitude that you are at a loss for words.
If I could throw something at you, I would.
A punch packed with as much strength as your love.
Ugh.
Oh my. Hello, everyone. It sounds like you're having fun.
How is this fun? Rumple is never fun. All he ever does is spout nonsense.
He doesn't mean any harm, Princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments, and he needs to get them off his chest.
Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to Rumple and furrow my eyebrows at him. Or do you only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you?
I only wanted to help, princess. That's what partners do, right?
But we are not partners.
Just try this partnership out, princess. I promise it will be worth your while.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, Princess. You can always change partners.
Lady Parfait! You've broken my heart.
You are very good at healing your broken heart by now, Rumple. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. I only needed to speak with Anise to make sure that she doesn't mind any help with a particular list.
A list?
A list of herbs. For me. Anise has been nice enough to gather herbs for me.
Lady Parfait, is this about your body?
What's wrong with your body?
It's nothing to concern yourself with, Princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden on it.
That's right. Parfait mentioned having to bear the crystallum lucis. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use magic to heal yourself? Parfait shakes her head and sighs.
I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor?
Is something wrong?
Rumple shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile.
That name just sounds familiar.
It's likely you heard about her from someone else before. Humans do know of her existence, after all.
A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason I had thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches.
She is indeed a witch. That is what they say. Though I have never met her myself. She is the only one who can heal illnesses with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches, though, and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time.
Suffice it to say, we could never seek out help from her even if we wanted to.
Parfait shakes her head.
No, unfortunately not.
Rumple looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands.
If Delora was here, she would say, "All right, story time is over."
That was all very interesting.
Interesting, but it does not really help anyone. I'm sure it'll come into play later. Your body is the way that it is because of the Great War, then?
Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed. and I don't have an heir, so...
Parfait looks about ready to say something, but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. Anise immediately speaks up.
I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes.
Do you need any help? I would be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town.
Anise pulls a list out from a bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few items on the list, as far as I can see.
Don't worry about it, Rumple. It's not that much at all.
Rumple stares at the list. His expression suddenly smooths into something more serious.
May I have that?
Anise hands him the list, and slowly he takes a pen out from his pocket. I stare as he looks over the list quietly and then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterwards, he hands it over to Anise.
I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want something a little more general.
How does he know all that? Everyone is staring at Rumple with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed. Were you a doctor?
You've used herbs before, Rumple.
Maybe? I don't remember. But for some reason, names came to the top of my head as I was looking at the list.
Thank you.
It is always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, Anise, please let me accompany you to town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to me.
That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumple.
Rumple turns to me, a mischievous smile on his face. Whenever he looks at me like that, I know he is going to suggest something ridiculous.
Princess Lucette should accompany us, for the experience.
I do not need experience.
How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you.
Rumple has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn more about people.
I do not need to be lectured.
Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable.
Come on, Princess, let us escort the lovely Anise around town.
What about your work? Rumple puts a finger to my lips and grins.
No one seems to have thought of that, so it will be our little secret.
I slap his hand away, but he just grins at me jovially. How did I get dragged into this?
Please, don't stay out too long.
We won't.